This is Phantom Electric Ghost, and we're going to talk about song construction. So the title of this episode is the Devil You Know song of reimagining. Now, when we first came up with this song, it was done on our second album, and then it was re-released as a different version on our third album. So the second album that Phantom Electric Ghost ever produced in 2016 was called Indigo Menace, and it had this song on it called The Devil You Know. Then I actually rewrote it, a different version of it, for Synesthesia Neo Soul Surrender. And that was back in 2016. Now this song, it came from this poem that I wrote a long time ago. And it actually is a poem called The Devil You Know, you can see. And I actually reimagined it and had to rework the lyrics in order for it to get into a song structure even back in 16. So on the new version that's reimagined, I actually, the original version was created by Zoom R16 with a Roland Juno GI and a Akai, Arturia Beatstep Pro against a JDXI. And it had a really interesting sound, and it was reinterpreting a poem to go into an electronic music, kind of progressive electronic jazz kind of focus. Since then, done the song on Akai Force. And we actually have our Akai Force out there right now. But we're gonna show how we use the Akai Force a little bit later, but we're gonna actually get into this song, and we created a video on our YouTube channel. So we're gonna do this new version. We're gonna show the new version of the song. We actually had this song without the lyrics a couple weeks ago. So we're gonna play this song from our YouTube channel, which is YouTube.com/Phantom Electric Ghost, and then we're gonna talk about using the Akai Force. So here we go. Is that what you know? Devil that you know. You still love the devil that you know. Then the devil that you don't. Feel anything, feel pain. There's mercy compared to the game. There's mercy compared to the desolation of being alone. Maybe it's not for this world, and then the whisper of rumors don't atone. Is you love the devil that you know, and that's the devil that you don't. Is you love the devil that you know, then the devil that you don't. To feel anything, even pain, there's mercy compared to desolation game. The whispered rumors, you know. The whispered rumors, you know. Ears don't offer a hand to leave her alone. Then the dread will hang loosely to the safety over. The ears don't offer anything to the phone. The drowned woman hanging loosely to an intangible safety over. The devil that you know. The devil that you know. You love the devil that you know, and then the devil that you don't. Feel anything, even pain. His mercy compared to the desolation game. Smiles for the world, whispered rumors. Not even a hand who appears to offer to the dreaded rumor. It's a tumor. It's a rumor. It keeps you down. In the gloom. In the gloom mirror. In the gloom mirror. If you know it's the devil. that you know than the devil that you don't. To feel anything, even pain, is mercy to the desolation gain. Smile for the world, they say. Smile for the world, not for free. You know your pain is not ecstasy. Either love the devil that you know, yeah, the devil that you don't. If you always need some pain, there's some mercy to the desolation game. This is the verse I hand to appear to offer, because I don't know what the hell is and how to help her. Hang loose into a damn sacred rope. Codependence is just another dope. Codependence is just like dope. And it tastes dope. You just love this dope. So we're back, and that was the Devil You Know 2023 version. Anybody that's been following the Ghost knows that we actually had this song with different lyrics that all came from the original poetry collection called Cancer that we put out back in the 90s. And it's interesting that, you know, I keep on coming back to this song and reimagining it. But again, you know, it's a poem. And when the poem was written, it was actually, you know, in this collection of poetry about cancer at a microcosm and macrocosm level. At cancer from like an individual standpoint as the disease, but also as like social ills and anomie and things at microcosm level and macrocosm level. That was the whole idea. But it had to get reworked into a song, so the lyrics get adjusted to fit within the rhythms and the melodies of a song. So that was the initial task with that song. But now we want to get into something a little different. We're going to go into our Akai Force. So we're going to switch this camera out and go to the camera waiting for you with the Akai Force. You can see the Akai Force here. We're going to move our mic a little bit so that we can actually use it. Now the Akai Force is the Dawless DAW. And as you can see on here, we got on row 1, we've got like a bass. Now we can actually introduce an ARP. Now what I usually do to start a song, you can see I added a drum. Now the typical thing I'm going to do is that you also, what you might not see is there's a JD08 here, and we'll actually scoop up a little bit, and you can see the JD08 from Roland, and we'll bring it back down. And so what we're going to do is you're going to add a MIDI channel. So you go into the row here and you add a MIDI channel, and then you click on it, and then we actually go into the clip, and then we go and increase the loop length. We've been playing lately with the loop length of like 12. Used to do 24. So we're going back into the matrix. We're going to add another plugin, create something there, clip it to be like 12. And I'll move my mic so you can hear me. And then I'll move that to 12. Then I'm going to go and add another plugin, add it in, go to clip, increase the loop length to 12. And then we'll go and add another drum machine. And we haven't really shown you what we got there, but we'll go and make that 12. and then we'll go and add another audio channel. Now, the first audio channel is there to be able to get the MIDI channel for the JD08. So we're going to stop this and we're going to actually go into the mixer, and then we're going to go into the IO. And if you've got like a MIDI instrument, what you got to do is you got to go to your audio channel and set it to in. In this example, we've got it coming in on line 1. And then we got to go into the MIDI channel and make it the force for the MIDI in. And then for the MIDI out, we're going to do, move our mic a bit, and we're going to move the mic. Then we're going to add a MIDI channel. Let me see, make sure I got it right. No, the JD08, the channel that we're actually using to get sound is going to be channel 2. So that's how we're going to be able to hear it. You can hear it there. It is on channel 2. And then we're going to add it here. None there. Wait a second. Yeah, now we're not getting it. Wait a second. Let's see if I can get it. It's always a little hassle trying to get this thing working right. Yeah, we might have to, sometimes we have to shut it down for it to recognize stuff, which is kind of crazy, but when we do it, we shut it down and bring it back in. So we're going to save where we are, and then we're going to go back into the mixer and try to make sure I got this right. Yeah, it's not recognizing it. So let me, I have to change something. There's one thing I've found it, like when you're doing the MIDI connection, sometimes you have to shut it off and then shut it back on, put it back on to actually get it to recognize the MIDI channel, which is kind of a, I don't know if that's a bug or something, but it's connected with a USB MIDI, USB-C, and then we have to do that. So that's a somewhat of a hassle. So we're going to get back into this once it opens up again. Takes a little bit to reboot because it's basically a computer. We're going to load our project back in. This is called OKK. And then we're going to go back into the IO. And let's see. And then we're going to get, oh, that's, because I'm doing the wrong thing there. I get the wrong channel. That's what's going on. Okay. Yeah, we did something stupid here. And then we're going to go back into the MIDI channel. And we have force. And then we're going to do still got to reset the boutique, which basically turn it on and turn it off again. So it recognizes it, which is kind of silly. Okay, it should be in there now. Okay, so what we ended up having to do is you have to be able to recognize the USB MIDI. And for some reason, what I've found is sometimes even though it's on and you both turn them on at the same time, you might have to take your JD08 or your MIDI instrument and turn it on and off for the Akai Force to recognize it. It seems like it doesn't initialize. Like if you both turn them on at the same time, sometimes it doesn't initialize. I don't know what's going on there, but basically, so we have in the MIDI in, we have the Force, and the MIDI out, we have the Roland Boutique JD08. So now that we've got that set up, if I actually go in and I go back to that mixer, make sure I got it on the right channel. We're actually sending on channel 2 on the boutique, and then once we connect that, we hit the MIDI to be on the MIDI channel, and then hit the note button a couple of times. Now you can hit the note to actually engage the keyboard, and you can see it engages at different levels. But I want all the pads to be engaged, so if once I have that set up on MIDI on this channel 4, we have this MIDI instrument. Now we should be able to play whatever patch we have on the JD08. And that's a very interesting synthesizer. It's got a lot of cool aspects to it. We play a different patch. More. This is like a bass line. You make it very crunchy. There's a Roland digital synth that has a lot of power. Now we can change. We can go to one of these endless encoders and they take it down a little bit. We had the ARP. So now we got through this setup. At least we got the MIDI instrument set up. Now we're going to go back to a drum. And we're going to go into our drum program within the Akai Force and load it. That was a little too loud. So we'll try to do it. Let's load a different drum. They basically previews what the drums could be. I don't think I ever tried that drum, but maybe it's a little too much. That's interesting. Maybe I'll try that one. I never tried this one before, so let me play with it. And again, I'm going to, when you first get the drum beat, you know the drums, you can see. Maybe I'll take this down for a second. Okay, now you can see the whole thing. You notice it just lights up one section of the Akai Force. I hit the pads again. Now all of it's lit up. And then if I add the ARP, now try a different drum set. So now I might actually start to work on actually taking that and turn it into a drum beat. So I'll hit the stop to stop the thing from rotating. Make sure that my clip has enough length. It only had 2 bars. So I'm going to take the English encoder and bring that up to like 16 bars. So now that's 16 bars. I'm going to go back into the matrix and start on row 1 and hit the record button so it's lit up and it's flashing. Now that it's lit up and flashing, if I actually kick off that row, it will actually let me start creating that rhythm. Count in. So I got that started. Now I'm actually going to do a little time correction in there and be a quantize it. And then now we're going to go bring in the actual JD08. So I'm going to bring in the JD08 and just start playing around and see. This is how you can start initially recording. Now you see I've got a piece here. The only two instruments I have is my drum set, which I got a trap kit. Then I got the JD08. The trap kit's on channel 3 or column 3. And then column 4, I've got the MIDI JD08, which I just put a track in. And now in 16 bars. And now I can actually load in a plugin, which I think I might have a plugin on channel 1, which is a bass. So I could actually start writing that bass line. Now I've got it on the ARP, so then I can actually go in and put that bass line in. You know, hit record, kick it off. Now I got that bass line in there. And now I could actually go in and do the JD08. So I'll actually go and cue that up. And I'm still on row 1, and I've actually see what I've got going on is like cell 1 is the bass line. Cell 2 is the audio, which is just the audio coming from the JD08, but then the actual pattern is in cell 4 for the MIDI channel. You have to understand you end up losing that audio channel as an input channel, and the actual melody or the notes are on the MIDI channel. So when you use a MIDI channel, you have to give up an audio channel to be able to bring that in, and then you can't really put anything in that cell, which I know that's how it works. So the MIDI channel is where the notes are, and then the sound in our audio channel 2. Audio 1 on column 2. Now we got the drum beat, the trap drum UK set there on channel 3, and then we've got our bass lines on channel 1, column 1 from a plugin that we grabbed for the bass, and then now it's a bass synth within the plugins that are in this system. And now we're going to actually go into the MIDI channel, which is a JD08 boutique Roland synth, and we're going to try a line there. Now, if I don't like any of these lines, I can go in and I can clear it and start again. So I'm going to go in and hit record and make sure that I'm highlighted on the channel that I need to be on. You can see it's a highlight here. So when I'm on channel 4, MIDI channel, and then I'm going to go, or column 4, and I'm going to hit, it's lit up and it's flashing, which means it's ready to record. Record arms on, hit launch, count it out. Now, maybe you didn't hear that MIDI channel, I'm going to turn it up a little bit and play it again. So I actually going to launch it. So now we've got like 3 instruments going on. And you're going to go into plug out 2. So we go into plug out 2, and we're going to load another instrument. So stop it, and we're going to actually load an instrument. Go into our instruments. Now I got a Mellotron in here. I got an Odyssey. Try I don't have the Mini D. I didn't buy it, but I'm going to go and do the Odyssey, which is an ARP, and going to try something weird. Here's what this sounds like. Turn the ARP off. Oh, there's a theremin. You load the theremin. Oh, I like that. You can turn that up within Endless Encoder. Now I can actually try this. Now what we're going to also start doing later is like take all these instruments from row 1. From each one of these cells is an instrument. We've got them set out. The clips are going like this is going 12 bars. So now I just loaded an ARP Odyssey. And if I go look at what I loaded a lead theremin. You go back to the matrix, cue it up, hit the launch, going to count it out. I'm going to go and change my I'm changing my setting on my Zoom. I'm going through a live track L8 mixer so you can hear this. And I actually had some effects on. I had on a vocal effect. I'm switching it to a chorus. I've got it queued up to go. And so I hit the launch button. It's going to kick off the count it out on the metronome. So now I got that in there. So the next thing I can do is start to actually move some of these tracks to separate columns so that I can have variation when I go into arranger mode when we haven't got there. So I'm going to grab the this note here. This instrument here is the bass, and then this is the drum set. This is the drum set, and then this one here is the JD08. And then this other plug out here is the Odyssey. So I've got all those lines. Still got 3 more I can play with, but I haven't done anything with those yet. So I'm going to actually go bring this bass line. I'm going to copy it and then bring it down to the next row. Well, I'm going to try to do that. Copy it. So now if that's on its own row, if I kick it off, that's all you hear, which is kind of cool. So then you can take the drum kit and you can copy it to another line. And then you could take like the Odyssey and put the Odyssey on its own line. So then we play that. Well, maybe it's not that one. I thought it was. Maybe I didn't get it. So yeah, I do have it there. So hold a second. Copy that and then bring it to its own line. And if I kick it off. So now that's on its own line. So now I can actually start combining just the drums with different things. So I take the drums, copy it, and put it here. And then take the MIDI instrument and put it with just drums. And then take the MIDI instrument and just put it by itself. And now I could add another instrument, which I don't have yet. So go into my instruments. I could try a tube synth and look for maybe a piano, I think. I don't know if it has a piano in there. Oh, you don't have pianos in there. So if I go into hype synth, get out. Go into hype, load, look for a piano. So I got a bunch of different pianos in here. So I'm going to grab like a vinyl piano. I haven't tried that. See what she sounds like. Now that might be interesting. Now what I might do now is actually take the drum machine and create a unique rhythm to go with that piano. So when take the copy to get the length, get it on its own row, and then kick off this piano and make it like 12 bars, and then go back in and then cue it up. So this is a brand new line. Let's see, so we're on line, yeah. We're on line 7, row 7, kick it off and launch it. On the wrong instrument, so I hadn't have that in record mode, so let me undo that. I actually had the wrong instrument. So delete that, go in here, add the clip I wanted to have the piano. I ended up having the Odyssey. Go back in. So I got that set. Hit the record, hit the launch, count it out. Save what I've been doing so far. And this project again is called OKK. And now we got a bunch of different things going on different channels. And so now we're going to actually go into arranger mode. So we hit record. No, we actually go into the menu. And then you see there's a thing called arranger. Now, right now, it's only set to 4 bars. So we're going to go into it and set it so it's actually more than 4 bars. So we're going to go into arranger again, hit the menu, arranger mode, and well, it's 128, and I usually go and make them like 152. It's like a 5-minute song, and then you take this line and you make sure that it actually gets out to like the 152, and it's going to start on bar 1. Now, if you want to start actually doing things, you go into, to actually record this, you hit record to arrangement. Now, what's going to happen here is you basically, on this, all these clips you can launch, you can kind of DJ your song. So you can start off with different clips and it'll actually start to record the song. So that's my method. And then later I'll actually record it into this L8 and then I'll add vocals with the mic onto the L8 as an individual track. So I'll take this track once it's fully recorded and bring it into an L8 and then do on tracks 7 and 8, it gets recorded on input 7 and 8 on the L8. And then I'll take line 1, which has my mic, what I'm talking into now, and actually put vocals on it. So now we're in a full recording session. Now we're in arranger mode. So we're going to put down this track. We're going to kind of do a stream of consciousness recording of the track. So we're going to go in and we're going to kick off arranger mode and just start running clips. And we can, just move clips around as we see fit. we just was like jamming, and now we've actually gotten. So what we did on the JDOA here wasn't captured. We were just kind of jamming. So that's not actually in there. And there's some like wasn't perfect, but so now what we do is you go back to arrange, hit the bars, go to make it go back to bar one. Now typically what we do is we go into our um, Zoom L8 and we actually set it up to record. So we go in and we go to the way that it works is go into recorder mode, go into setting, create a brand new project, and we create that project. And we tend to turn off the metronome because we don't want to hear it because we already kind of used one in Akai Force. Then we set a recording channel. Then once we get it set, we can set recording channel 7 and 8. So we got recording channel 7 and 8 chorus lines from the Akai Force and bringing it over. So now that we've actually got the Akai Force back reset to the beginning of the arrangement, we could actually hit the play and have it go into the Zoom live track L8. So we typically record that in, and then we do vocals. So right now I'm actually going to kind of just do vocals that I'm going to run. And I might just take some lyrics from my book, Cancer, and just see what happens. There's a poem called The Season of Cancer, and I'm going to actually maybe kind of riff that into it. And then it'll kind of show you how I put together a song. So I'm actually going to my mic and bring my effects up a little bit on the chorus. So the mic is going to have a little bit stronger feel, and make sure I got the mic in the right position. And then we're going to do the vocals for the song. So right now we're going to just kick it off, and you won't see me because I don't have the dual cameras, because that's probably better. You don't see me, but I'm actually going to do the vocals and run this arrangement. I'll record it later. Well, maybe I could try to record it. I don't know. You never know. So I'm queuing it up so it will actually record. And because it's a live track LA, I think it's going to get a stem on every channel. That's what it's supposed to do. Well, we'll see. Got to cue it up. The season of cancer. Love with a hole in the heart. And then now you know that you meant to part. Yeah, the season of cancer has left you with a hole in your heart. There's no place to go. You don't even know where to start. Season of cancer has left you with a hole in your heart. When you met it, did you know that you were meant to part? You're falling apart. Within your heart there's a place you know where's to let go. Blizzard deep, it's frozen cold. Within your heart there's a place no one is allowed to go. There's a deep in your soul. Within your heart there's a place where no one allowed to go. There's a deep and frozen cold. See the cancer has left you with a hole. It left you with a hole. The season of cancer has left you with a hole that you didn't know. You didn't know. Just strain on your heart and it's a strain on your soul. There's a hole in your heart and it's fucking cold. The season of cancer has left you with the hole. There's a place that you don't allow anybody to go. Yeah, it's blizzard deep. Yeah, it's frozen cold. Frozen cold. Yeah, it's blizzard deep in the know. And that's what you know. There's a hole in your heart. In the season of cancer, you left the hole in your soul. Yeah, it's blizzard deep. Yeah, and frozen cold. If you didn't know. If you didn't know, the season of cancer left you with the hole. It left you with the hole. And the season of cancer, it left you with the hole. Yeah, it's blizzard deep. It's fucking cold. You didn't know. You didn't know that the season of cancer has left you with the hole. It's blizzard deep, and if you didn't know, there's a strain on your soul, the strain on the cold. The strain you didn't know. There's a place in the heart that no one let to go. And is allowed to go. Yeah, it's blizzard deep. It's fucking cold. Okay, if you didn't know, it's fucking deep and fucking cold. Okay, you didn't know. Sin cancer is left with a hole in your soul. Blizzard deep, you didn't know. Love is not the only part. Strain on the soul. It's strain because it's cold. It's fucking cold. Means that the season of cancer left you with the hole. Love is only meant apart, and there's a strain on the soul. It's blizzard deep and fucking cold. Blizzard deep and fucking cold. So we put that down into the L8. So now it's in there. And the thing we do sometimes, now that it's in there, we go and we master it. And then we use different effects on different parts of the song. Because when you can kind of apply effects to different things, so you can go in and add like a digital delay or change it to a plate. So we're actually going to go and do that. So we're going to try that now and see if that works. So we can go in. Now this is all in the L8, and then we're going to apply effects to different parts of the song. The season of cancer has left you with a hole in your heart. And now you know that you meant to part. Yeah, the season of cancer has left you with a hole in your heart. There's no place to go. You don't even know where to start. Season of cancer has left you with a hole in your heart. When you met, did you know that you are meant to part? It's falling apart. Within your heart there's a place where no one's allowed to go. Blizzard deep, frozen cold. Within your heart there's a place no one is allowed to go. Blizzard deep in its soul. Within your heart there's a place where no one's allowed to go. Blizzard deep and frozen cold. Season cancer has left you with a hole. It left you with a hole. The season of cancer has left you with a hole that you didn't know. You didn't know. There's a strain on your heart and a strain on your soul. There's a hole in your heart and it's just fucking cold. The season of cancer has left you with the hole. There's a place that you don't allow anybody to go. Yeah, it's blizzard deep. Yeah, it's frozen cold. Frozen cold. Yeah, it's blizzard deep and you know. And that's what you know. There's a hole in your heart. In the season of cancer, you left the hole in your soul. Yeah, it's blizzard deep. Yeah, and frozen cold. If you didn't know. If you didn't know, the season of cancer left you with a hole. It left you with the hole. The season of cancer has left you with the hole. Yeah, it's blizzard deep. It's fucking cold. You didn't know. You didn't know that the season of cancer has left you with the hole. It's blizzard deep and if you didn't know. There's a strain on your soul. A strain on the cold. The strain you didn't know. This place in the heart that no one let to go. No one's allowed to go. Yeah, it's blizzard deep. Fucking cold. Okay, if you didn't know, it's fucking deep and fucking cold. Okay, if you didn't know. Sin cancer is left with a hole in your soul. Blizzard deep, you didn't know. Love is not the only part. Strain on the soul. Strain on the cold. It's so cold. Means that the season of cancer left you with the hole. Love is only meant a part, and there's a strain on the soul. It's blizzard deep and fucking cold. Blizzard deep and fucking cold. So now we've actually gone in and I'm going to change my effect to go back to a normal effect. We actually recorded that. So that's interesting. So hopefully it recorded. I have to go back and check. Let me check something. Just want to see if it actually recorded my song. The season of cancer has left you with a hole. Yeah, it did. So I was able to record it. And that's kind of the process. So what we did here is to show how you use the Akai Force to write the instrumental part of the song, along with the JD08 coming into it through MIDI, and then using this live track L8 with our mic to actually put vocals in. And we use track 1 on the Zoom L8 to do the vocals, and track 7 and 8 to take everything from the Akai Force. So this has been kind of like a lesson how we do that. So now we're going to go back to some of the songs that we were doing before. So we're going to go and bring our YouTube channel, and we're gonna get off of the Akai Force for a second and change the camera. So we're gonna change our camera back to our main camera. So we're back with the main camera. Now we can talk to you about the videos we were talking about earlier that we had created on our YouTube channel. So we're going to go into our YouTube channel, go to our playlist, and we'll play one more song, one of the songs that we were working on. And we created a song using the same kind of workflow yesterday um, that we thought was interesting. So we'll go into that, and we're going to get into our channel. Let's see. We got to get to our playlist and codependency playlist. Bring this up and then share the screen. We're going to share the screen. We got the screen up and we're going to put it in. So we've got it out there, and then we'll put ourselves back on the screen. So we've got our songs here. And we did The Devil You Know. And in case of Synesthetic Flowering is the song without the lyrics. So we're probably just going to play that so you can hear the difference of the song that we did earlier called Codependency, The Devil You Know. The version that didn't have lyrics, we're going to play that, and then we'll play another song. So now we're going to come back, and that was the song that was the instrumental basis of The Devil You Know, which we reimagined from our 2016 versions from Indigo Menace and Synesthesia Neo Soul Surrender. So now there's a 2023 version using the Akai Force, which we just went through how we create a song. We created a brand new song on the Akai Force that we'll later work on further today and see if we have to tweak it. But the other thing I wanted to show you is a totally different song we did yesterday using the same flow. So we're going to do Synesthetic Open Mouth Kiss and play that. oceanic feeling all. Oh, but later when she wants me to go down in the oceanic, is the only sound. Oceanic feeling on down. When we're going down, expansive with my hands into the sound. Relative sound, waveforms spinning around. Every time my tongue goes around, in that place that she wants me now. In that place, she's rolling around, in the deep ink and the ears not to the ground. Enveloped in the sound, and you're bouncing up and down. In your face is deep ink and it's swirling around. Tongue goes around, eyes go down. Deep pink, enveloped in the sound. The influence of the low that goes down when you're spinning in the deep pink, swirling around, up and down. The influence of the low that goes around, and the tongue is swirling around in the deep pink. Everything you imagine in your dream right now, in the depths of the expansive sound, where you're in that fancy hotel uptown, or in the deep pink with the tongue swirling around. Whether you're in the fancy hotel uptown, or in the deep pink with your tongue swirling around, you're bouncing up and down. You feel it right now. Everything's in that space. Part of the pound. Down. Into the up and around. Roll back right now. Into the pound. That's the sound. Blasted from the sound. Tongue swirl around. Expansive and going up and down. And cheeks of the hotel uptown, enveloped in the expansive sound. Expansive. So I'm back, and that's it for today. We went through a couple of things with talking about "The Devil You Know," the song, which was on our original albums back in 2016. Um, so now we're gonna seg out, but we would like to tell people that we are a podcaster. If you check out the link below, check out https://podmatch.com/sign up /Fam Electric Ghost is the best tool for getting guests on your podcast. We've been using the tool since last year. We have had a massive increase in guests on our podcast, and we've actually gotten commission for guests that we get. We get to manage our podcast and create a calendar, be able to view guest profiles. So Podmatch is kind of like a Tinder for casters and podcast guests. It matches the profile of your show as a podcaster with people who might want to be guests on your show, and then provides you matches every day. And then you're able through the Podmatch system to connect and schedule through Calendly and Podmatch a schedule for your podcast. And then we use StreamYard to actually also schedule that podcast so it's in sync with the Calendly. And what's cool about Podmatch is it gives you a profile photo, so the publicity photo for the guest, their bio, and the URLs they have, any previous interviews, so you can check them out. They've got even the questions they like to be asked. So it makes it very simple to schedule and organize your podcast, and also recommended topics and titles that the guest has for the show. So it makes it a lot easier to do the work than what we used to have to do a lot of research and back and forth on email and chats to be able to do that. You also get people's social media links so you can connect with them there. It's a very cool tool. And again, as I said, you also get commission for guests from like 1 times commission to 10 times commission. So it's a very lucrative thing that you can get into and monetize your podcast, organize your podcast. The Tinder for podcasting is Podmatch. Check it out. Pod Pros, they're pretty cool. Check out Pod Pros. Check out podmatch.com. Use that sign up code to get to be a member of the Podmatch community of podcasters and hosts, and I think you'll enjoy the increase in your relevancy and connecting all kinds of people that you'll get to know and connect with on Podmatch. So thank you for listening to Fam Electric Ghost, and we'll talk to you later.